Right off the bat, David Gunnell, two N's, two L's, says, when you're recording in the cave, do you have an external mic on your phone? Because I do most of the recording of the cave on an iPhone. Or are you just using the phone's onboard mic? Any audio best practices you've discovered while recording? So this is actually an interesting story. The answer is no. When I'm recording myself, whenever the camera angle is not moving, that's me recording myself on the phone. Whenever the camera's moving, that's Joey, Josh, or Norm filming. And in those cases, when those guys are filming, I'm wearing a lav like I am now. So my audio is perfect. And a couple of years ago, DJI, I think they were the first ones to come out with this new type of microphone that a bunch of people make now, where it's two units, one's a transmitter, one's a receiver, but both are recording onto themselves. So even if the transmission to your camera didn't work, you could still get the audio file off the microphone unit. This is brilliant. And it's like, this is exactly the place in which technology and the miniaturization of technology yields better versions of products than we have ever had before. And this DJI mic is exactly that kind of product to me. And again, there are other people that make this type of thing now, but I think they were the first. And Norm brought a set in and dialed it into my camera phone and said, you know, go ahead and try this on the next build you do. And I did. Spent a day building something and we put it up on the channel. And I watched it because I was just curious. I didn't have a specific point of view on whether or not this would work. I just thought, oh, this is great. A low threshold to entry recording solution that is easy for me to not have to think about. That really was my personal goal. But something happened when I watched the video, which was that I didn't like it. And I couldn't figure out why I didn't like it. The video was fine, the cutting was fine, the pacing, the subject, everything. But there was something about it. And I watched it again. I'm like, what is wrong with this video to me? And it took me 3 times to watch it to figure it out. It's that when I'm recording on the phone, I really am alone in this room. Yeah, I'm all by myself. And so you are who I'm talking to. And when I lean into the phone, one of those moments that Josh loves to do an extra close-up, when I lean into the phone, my voice, you can hear my voice more clearly. The same way it would happen if I leaned over to you at a dinner party and said something off to the side. And when I was watching a video in which I was recording on my phone, alone in this room, but my audio was perfect no matter where I was in the room, the video itself lacked a little intimacy. That moment of hearing my voice get louder as I leaned into the phone made me, as a viewer of my content, feel more like I was in the room with me. And the perfect audio kind of took me out of that. That doesn't change how I want to record with Joey, Josh, and Norm at all, because I really do think of those videos as a slightly different genre than the ones I record of myself. And in here, it helped me understand that one of the things we're doing with these videos is building a little bit of intimacy. And that is a thing I would only have understood by exploring YouTube as a different modality of communication. It's different than television, different than movies, different than in person. I mean, it's different to perform in a bar than it is in a stadium, right? Like everywhere and every how that you do a performance has its own rules and proclivities and things to adjust to. And clearly I've spent the last few years diving headfirst totally into YouTube as a communication medium. And understanding that thing about the audio intimacy was a real shift in my understanding. And it's not like I have now some broad conclusion about what YouTube means culturally or something like that. It's just, as problem solvers, humans are evolutionarily primed to notice change and notice things when they are different and ask why. And just that process of watching the video, wondering why I didn't like it as much, figuring that out, that's really cool to me. Because again, that would have never come up in television. Audio, the relationship between a television show and its audio is very different than a YouTube channel and its audio. Yeah. And the final thing, I haven't come to a specific conclusion either about YouTube and intimacy and audio. It's not like I have a set of rules. Just for right now, I was very curious to learn about the intimacy that was engendered by a lack of excellent audio. Yeah, I find that really thrilling. Thank you for that great question. Oh, yeah, here we go. Thomas Essen asks a question. You've received lots of packages and often comment on the quality of the packaging while unboxing. I'll appreciate large Ziploc bags that I get from Prop Store, etc. But Thomas says he can't recall me sharing a broad overview of my packing preferences. Thoughts on peanuts versus bubble wrap versus paper. Underutilized materials or techniques. Any pet peeves? First pet peeve is buying machine tools on eBay that arrive in an empty cardboard box, where this big steel tool has slowly trashed the box it's in on its way to me. That doesn't happen too often. My second pet peeve is specifically an eBay one, is the people who I buy some little thing and they carefully wrap it up in tissue paper and then they put some little bubble wrap around it and then they put a whole bunch of bubble wrap and then they wrap it in like packing tape. So like I'm carving away not knowing where the juicy center of the object is. That makes me absolutely nuts. I have broken things I've bought trying to unwrap them. And so my biggest request for anybody packaging stuff up for eBay is just consider the person unpacking the thing. If you're wrapping packing tape all the way around this thing, oh God, please just tell me where I can cut safely. I don't have a preference necessarily for packing peanuts over bubble wrap. I will say that if you're packing up a heavy object, the peanuts should come like a few inches above the top as you compress that box. And the thing itself should be in bubble wrap. So if it's like what you're sending is, let's say it's something like this big or bigger made out of solid metal, because I buy stuff like this all the time. To me, that would be wrapped in like a nice 5 or 6 layers of bubble wrap and then put in a box with peanuts where they've been shoved in. That is proper packaging for something like that. Thank you, Thomas, for giving me a chance to express my desires. Weirdly, one of my favorite things about packaging is that strangely cheap yellow tape that comes from China. That like easy to tear tape. I want a roll of it. It kind of fascinates me because among packing tapes, it's one of the easiest to undo mid-field, which actually makes me appreciate it, even though it feels like very cheap. Yeah. Funnily enough, it occurs to me that I have not gone to eBay or Amazon or AliExpress to see if I could purchase such a thing. Thank you for watching that video. Are you as sick of the tosses to membership as I am? Good, because here's a brand new one that I recorded today and it's nice and short. There are 3 tiers to Tested membership and they all offer awesome stuff. Find out about it by clicking the join link below. We'll see you there.